doesn't wear his badge and he shoots people. Okay, this is old Cam.
And this is not a spring chicken. It happens to be that time of year for trick-or-treaters to come out.
Yeah, which is a bad time of year for most pets.
I know. Well, you know, there's a few things that you really need to be careful of. For example, if you happen to own a black cat.
Yeah, I had black cats too, folks.
If you happen to own a black cat, I've heard before that the week before Halloween you should keep your cat indoors.
Yeah. I had black Persians and black Siamese, and people would borrow the cats to have.
Did they really?
Yeah, which basically you can't really borrow a cat because a cat will leave when the cat wants to go.
So what do they borrow the cat for? I mean, it's part
so
of it.
that they could, you know, have them run across people's driveways or something to bad luck, or they'd have them come out of their house when the trick-or-treat somebody for a party. They'd open the cat would go running out of the house, and people would. It's a very bad superstition.
Oh yeah, like the don't let the black cat walk in front of you.
That's right.
So you know, part of it is if you have a cat. I mean, Monty Bubbles is a chair dog, but see, part of it is.
She doesn't like cats.
I know, but sometimes she has to be concerned about cats.
Well, yeah, because cats will damage her nose, which is the only thing you got to really worry about is her nose.
But I think, you know, that's one of the big things. Another big thing on Halloween is those tricks and the candies.
Yeah.
Those are for people, not for pets.
Oh, I know, but sometimes they give things actually that can be both. I mean, you know, they do have trick or treat stuff for pets.
Well, but part of it is you have to make sure that's separated because, first of all, you can't have the candy accessible for the dog or the cat.
That's right. You got to be away from them.
And if you do get trick-or-treats specifically for the animals, know that it's for the animals because there's some things that are for people that look like they're for pets and vice versa.
Well, Monty's lollipop that she gives to the kids looks like the same version of the thing you give to the dog. But there is a difference. One is candy and one is pet food, so.
Yeah, so you always have to be careful of that.
Yeah, but Monty does have lollipops for children.
She does. She's going to give them lollipops.
Every year, lollipops.
One of the things you've always heard about for Halloween, and actually this goes for other times, is that you've heard that chocolate is bad for animals.
Yeah, it's because of an enzyme in the chocolate. It's not the. Okay, they say, well, it rots the teeth. Well, not really. It's what is good for the human in the chocolate, which is the antioxidant. I think is bad for the dog.
Oh, what about for cats?
Cats can eat anything.
Oh, and they probably do.
That's right.
Yeah. Symptoms of significant chocolate ingestion may include vomiting, diarrhea, hyperactivity, increased thirst, urination, and heart rate, and even seizures.
That's what I said, what makes it good for a human. Mostly if they eat too much chocolate, they're going to poop, liquidy poop all over the place.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah, you got to really know if they get the chocolate because they are going to be greenish and.
Another thing they've always told you to keep away from dogs are grapes and raisins. So if you happen to have chocolate-covered raisins, those are especially bad.
My problem is our dog, we grew grapes, we had the large vines, and the dogs go out to the grapevines and pick the grapes off the vines. Oh, raisins are bad because raisins basically swell up in the stomach. Oh. The dog will eat a whole bunch of raisins, that think the little small things, all of a sudden they're no longer dehydrated, and they go like that, so you can. Not good for a small dog tummy to eat a whole bunch of raisins. It can blow his tummy up. Oh,
and so not only is chocolate bad for your dogs, but actually candy's bad for them anyway, isn't it?
Candy, you think of the teeth on a dog. Dog's teeth, basically, you don't go to dentist with dogs. So, I mean, the dog, if the dog damages a tooth, it's almost always in trouble. So you want to keep, you really want to keep sweets to a dog to a minimum, period.
And then also there's other things that in your decorations. For example, you might have candles inside your pumpkins.
Yeah, and dogs can basically, a dog might be perfectly capable of being around the pumpkin and candles. The problem is the dog has a tail. And that tail,
the tail may wag it.
And they hit the pumpkin, knock over the pumpkin with the candle. See, because most dogs aren't going to come anywhere near the fire of a candle, but they can walk by wagging a tail, and that's it.
That's true, huh? That's why they also tell you don't have candles on your Christmas tree.
That's right.
Well, it's kind of hazardous anyway. I know, like in Denmark, because that's one of their traditions is to have candles on your Christmas tree.
Well, I know, we had candles on Christmas trees, but we stopped doing that. We got a cat that jumped, one of our cats would jump up into the Christmas tree and knock everything off, so.
It's funny because, you know, the other part about candy, they also talk about Halloween plans and things is, when you're changing over the dog food, they always tell you to gradually change the dog food because that's what your pet's used to eating.
Yep.
Well, they're not used to eating candy
Mm-mm.
or Halloween
It
plants,
just
decorative corn, anything
decorative
like
corn.
that.
No, people will think, okay, a dog that eats corn doesn't know candy corn isn't corn.
Oh.
And it's also hard, so it can bust a tooth. A small dog can easily bust a tooth. The big dog can basically get it wrapped up in their teeth and cause cavities.
Really?
Yeah, I have a vet here, folks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Another thing people always think about, if you've got small kids, you probably have already thought about this. If you have rabbits,
Yeah,
especially, it's all those extra cords and cables from decorations.
yeah. So, I know.
Of course, it's also like by your computers when you're working,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
usually that's kind of stuffed away in a corner.
Yeah, no, actually we did have rabbits. Rabbits, but the little ones would let the
Yeah,
rabbits
because they're
out.
all
The rabbits would sit there and gnaw on the cables of everything. Basically, we had a problem with rabbits because of that, so.
Oh, also dress up.
Dress up, yeah. Well, Monty hasn't dressed up yet, but Monty's going as a pirate this year. I think she got her own pirate hat and her cutlass that's going to go into her harness. So
You know, there's a there's a lot of people that like to dress up their dogs because they think it's funny.
Monty would do anything to an extent for food.
Well, they have all these really cute dog pet, you know.
Yeah, but
I don't really see cat costumes. You have dog costumes.
Monty will pose for a picture. Generally, it's a picture, and then that's it. She'll leave the scene. So.
But you know, there's people that dress up their dogs and then they take them Halloween trick or treat.
Oh, I know. They should, first of all, never take a pet trick-or-treating, because the pet basically can get testy with people that he doesn't know.
Well, you know, part of it is you probably don't, unless your dog wears outfits all the time, you
No.
probably are not going to be that happy because they're wearing the outfit, first of all.
They just, like I said, I mean, we've taken Monty out at Christmas with sleigh bells on, but Monty basically likes the noise. She makes extra noise, so she likes the noise it makes. But it's never, I mean, small dogs, a lot of small dogs are dressed up all the time anyway. I mean, when I was young, my sisters used to dress up a Belgian Shepherd we had, you know, actually. They'd sit there and put clothes on it, and the Belgian Shepherd, they'd push it around like a doll baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and people, oh, that's a cute, now what? And the dog would bite them. Yeah, but most dogs do not take to getting clothes on them very well.
Well, first of all, they just don't like it or feel comfortable. And then the other part is what you think looks kind of cute may, like, they may not like it because it might block their vision.
Yeah.
It may restrict their movement.
It's
Any of the
yeah,
things.
it's just it's bad things. With a dog, I think his vision is the most thing to bother them the most, because if they can't see, they sort of going paranoid about it. But the clothes, you can dress up a dog for a little while. The dog will tolerate it for food.
If you're just like taking pictures, like Monty,
Yeah.
like we put her in the costume, she knows there's a doggy treat, we take the pictures, and then she'll post.
Don't ever take a dog out in a costume. I'll tell you, you know, from vet school, they said you see more people bit on Halloween than basically, other than 4th of July and Halloween were the two big days. 4th of July because of all the noise, and Halloween because people insist on taking their dogs out dressed cute.
I mean, you may think it's cute, but see, here's the other part is, the dog virtually does not realize what's going on,
No.
right? The kids are all excited, and they're screeching.
And the dog can smell the stuff.
Oh.
The dog can smell it, because dogs, okay, there was never a dog born that did not have a sweet tooth, folks.
Oh, really?
They will eat every bit of sweet stuff that they can get their hands on, because a dog is like a family pet, especially dogs, are as smart as the smartest young kid. And basically, and children always like to get into the cookie jar. Dogs will get in the cookie jar. Dogs will get into the candy. Dogs will do everything.
The other part too is your kids may know better,
Yeah.
but if your dog's going, right, with all their candy, they may think, oh, it looks so cute, they
Yeah.
want to, and they give them
Because I remember
their Halloween
when
candy.
the girls were young, they sat there with the dogs, and the dogs just sat next to them, and they sit there, one for me, one for her, one for puppy, one for puppy, one for puppy. They divide the candy up among all the, because they considered the puppies, you know,
Is the siblings almost.
as a family. So they divide the candy up. The dogs go. And then my mother would come in. What the hell are you girls doing? And they said, well, he didn't tell us we couldn't. It was always my trouble. I tell them, don't do that.
Because they think it's fun and
well,
it's
yeah,
cute.
well, they said, but you'd say we can feed the doggies. They said, you can't feed the doggies your candy. Said, you give them your candy, I'm going to take it away from you.
But see, part of it is, this is where you're the adult.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's no like crossing the boundaries because it's dangerous to your dog's health.
Yeah, but what happens when the girls...
It can be fatal.
When the girls start crying, the dogs...
I know.
They'd look up at my mother, and my mother would say, well, go get him a doggy treat. Then my mother would put all the candy up while they were getting him a doggy treat. So they did it for years. They sat there, the dogs would sit there with the stuff. Dogs would be waiting for Halloween. This is what the little kids don't understand. You can't do this. It's up to the adults to tell them.
Yeah.
You've got to be an adult when it comes to
you
that.
Really, yeah, you do. There's no, you just have to.
That's right. And remember, here's always the rule of thumb. If you're a person that basically does let your dogs have something they shouldn't have, if your kids can't have it, absolutely the dogs can't have it. If it's forbidden for your child, it is forbidden completely for any dog you have, any pet. Don't give it to them.
And also, here's one of the things is know where the number is for your vet.
Yeah.
So if you have an emergency,
yeah,
especially...
The best home remedy for your dog if he does something stupid is basically milk. Because most dogs will like milk, and basically they get the milk in their system and they'll throw it all out.
Oh.
So it's a good cleaner. It goes out both ends. So, but it doesn't solve the tooth problem, and it doesn't solve the problem when it's in the bloodstream. It's in the bloodstream. The tummy you can basically clean out with something as simple as milk, and it's not warm milk. It's good cold milk.
Now here's one of those things that people always think that they think it's kind of fun is to have the dog greet the people for Halloween.
Yeah, that's not a good sign either. I mean, the cats you want to lock up completely. Dogs, in Monty's case, Monty has her own fan club.
Well, see, part of it is they'll tell you, oh, don't let them run out of the house. Well, see, part of it is they actually should be in a different area.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Monty basically can look through the window. We got a bunk out, so Monty can go up and look through the window at her fan club when they come
see her. Because
and they say, Monty, Monty, Monty.
Well, part of it is Monty's fan club does come here and they're looking for Monty. In fact, they want to know, how come Monty isn't dressed up?
Yeah, they always want that. But Monty is forbidden to go to the door. Totally forbidden. Her daddy thinks it's funny.
Well, okay, I have to tell you though, there have been occasions where the neighbor kids that she knew, her fan club, where Monty did come around, but she was on a leash.
Yeah, that's it's another thing.
And they were quiet, and Monty could smell them and tell that it was them, and they'd call her name.
But that's what her lollipups are only for her fan club because they are special gifts.
So that's not for everybody, and it is.
They're the only ones that basically are permitted to touch Monty at that time too, because Monty knows them and Monty's used to them. But Monty doesn't know other kids, and Monty is not used to other kids. Well, fan club is different.
Yeah, because, they know each other.
Yeah.
She can smell them coming, she hears their voice.
Yeah, but for the best thing though, and even at that, she's still on a leash. She is not permitted to come anywhere near anybody on Halloween or other things without being on a leash,
Well, she's always walked on a leash anyway.
Yeah, and they're used to seeing Monty on a leash, but still, the rule of thumb is the dog should always be away because of the noise and the fact that dogs can smell.
They can smell it, and the kids get excited, trick or treat. They're in these, costumes and masks.
And it's the quick movements can basically excite. First of all, a dog, we had, our dogs were very well trained, but the children would like to go sit at the door and give the candy out, and sometimes people would come up and they'd make a real fast move, and you hear, great big dogs about this tall and 200 pounds standing over in because we had a doorway for the kitchen. It basically separated like this house, separated the kitchen from the hallway, but you hear the dog, because he could see the flashes because the window was open right on the other side of the door, and he'd be very unhappy with it. He could not be, the dog